Hello, all. So, we got some more lecturing from Miss Chantal yesterday. Um, she even pulled out the graph, the chart. Um, and it sounds very much like somebody helped her write a script for this one. Probably, one of these channels, React channels, that actually is in support of Foodie type content. So while the rest of us are out there talking about the dangers of it and the fetish nature of it, there are people that run other channels who are egging her on. So here we go, you guys.
This poem is called Shrimp Deflection.
Mm-hmm.
You are to blame for my shellfish nature. You are to blame for my sugar snap knuckles, blackening like sunset with osmotic intentions, parrying parlance, a shrimp deflection.
You are to blame that I decided to go to Kuwait and wear the heaviest possible outfits and be pretty much bedbound, have the desire to be in bed like a seal, she likes to say. And I don't know how she's going to pull herself out of this one. It keeps getting hotter every day in Kuwait this summer. And it's going to be like that probably through early October, is my guess.
Hello everyone, it's James here, welcome in, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be reacting to the woman whose blood sugar is higher than the number of notches on Russell Brand's bedpost. We're going to be reacting to Foodie Beauty. And we're back to school, back to school. Why I no longer want to make videos, and what's fair use? What is it? So yeah.
And the irony is, she's got the definition right up there. And it's very clear that what we're doing is within the definition of fair use. It's so wild that she does this stuff.
Settle yourself in. We're getting another foodie TED Talk, and I'm sure we can all appreciate sitting at the learning tree that is Foodie Beauty. So, yeah, this is quite incredulous. She did another video, which was a shrimp mukbang. Nothing of consequence happened, so, you don't need to.
I'm glad that you did not call it a sushi mukbang because she doesn't eat sushi. It absolutely is just like tempura shrimp, and you're right. And she's unwilling to use chopsticks now, because she's too lazy to learn that too.
Worry about that. I'm kind of thankful for Foodie doing these kind of videos because that means I don't have to react to her schlopping a shrimp. That's right, schlopping a shrimp. So yeah, thank you.
Well, and I don't think she really said anything from what I've heard. I don't think she actually had a lot of conversation. She's becoming much more lazy about having stories to tell while she just wants to get it done as quickly as possible. She seems very unhappy when she's doing these mukbangs. That she's just trying to shove it down her throat as fast as possible. Plus, she's trying to be ASMR, which is supposed to be for people who get soothed by certain sounds, right? Like the sound of chopping vegetables, the sound of eating, things of that nature. But she is doing it so wrong. She's putting her microphone in the wrong place. It's poor quality. It's poor quality equipment. Um, and the sound is terrible. So if you're trying to get into ASMR, don't you think you should do a little more research on that first and figure it out?
Foodie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm sure you appreciate me with that one dislike I get on every video. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so I want to talk about something that is affecting me and my channel. I haven't really realized it fully until recently, but
So when it comes to fair use, I would say that I fall here. The
Mm-hmm.
new work is critique, satire, or education. I definitely fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Whether she likes it or not, the reaction channels are here to stay. And, I'm not going to comment negatively on other people's work. There are some reaction channels that literally just post her video. It's going to be an occurrence with anything on YouTube, really.
Well, I haven't seen any that have just done what is that called when the clip channels. The ones that I have seen that just have a lot of, they don't do voiceover or whatever, tend to at least have commentary through subtitles or breaks in the video with some wording. They're still transforming the video.
If somebody does something, there's probably another channel who's just posted the exact same video. It's inescapable, unfortunately. Um, but I would say 99% of foodie beauty reaction channels are indeed transformative and informative. Like, for example, I watched Shantopolis's new video, and the editing was marvelous. The intro was fantastic, and I would say that is innovative and transformative. So that's
Yeah, I saw that last night too. It was really good. I would highly recommend it as well. By the way, for anybody who's watching this on my channel, make sure you go to Brightman's channel and give him a like and subscribe. He is also a type 2 diabetic who analyzes the dangers of her mukbangs most of the time. And I've been getting away from covering the food part of what her channel is because it was kind of grossing me out. But he doesn't usually cover this type of stuff, so we kind of cover different things. I usually cover like the lives and the vlogs and things like that, and he generally covers the mukbangs. So I'll have the link here in the description to this video.
just one example, and there are obviously a lot of reaction channels like myself who manage to make, chocolate mousse out of poop. Like in the video of
We do the best that we can. But yeah, she should feel actually blessed that she's covered by so many people because it certainly gets her name out there. And all, publicity is good publicity.
her talking about schooling us haters, that video was only 20 minutes long, and I made it into an hour-long critique. So it's it's not it's I'm trying to find the word here. It's not lazy, basically. We are transforming her content into something more credible, into something more digestible. Because, reactors, people come to us for a reason. They don't want to watch her original content because it's so bloody boring.
Right.
So they come to us for information and entertainment. So, I think she's off on the wrong sugar foot here.
After I explain it, it doesn't make sense to you, or you don't agree that what is happening is not fair whatsoever. I don't know what else to tell you or how to explain it another way.
By the way, did she source that graphic and the definition? Did she put the source of where she actually got that from? Because is that fair use? Is it fair use if you're not sourcing the material, Foodie?
I'm talking about reaction channels gone too far. Now, I have complained about reaction channels many, many times.
Oh yeah, she does it all the time, but she doesn't do it through the proper channels. The only channel she does it through is her own, where she's like, I hate everyone. Me, me, me. I don't like this. Me, me, me. I don't like that. Me, me, me. And then everybody points and laughs at her. And we're just like, just do it through the proper, appropriate channels. I'm sure that YouTube would probably uphold some complaints that she makes. But I think she's just too lazy.
Especially the ones that are just...
Yeah, she's already said that she doesn't want to have to grab timestamps. And that's because she's unable to find anything within our material that's actually in violation of any terms of service. So this is all just puffery right now. She's gotten to the point where she doesn't know how to make content anymore. So she's just whining and complaining. She's got nothing to do that people want to watch, and so she's just mad. She's just being blustery.
Pure hate channels, mostly about hypocrisy and bullying. But now there is another big issue I would like to address. It's content theft, which...
Who would feed your content verbatim?
Whichever way you try to excuse it, there is a whole community of content leeches that literally steal my content. And honestly, this is why I no longer want to put any effort into my content. If I do mukbangs, not much effort is there, sure. But if...
So you don't put effort into 99% of your content because that's all you do. You literally...
This is like somebody who has been working in a location for a while, and they've gotten to the point where they have so many enemies at work that they're very disgruntled, and they just want to whine about it all the time. And really, that's if you're that unhappy at a job, that's when you move on. You do something else. That's what you should do, girl.
You eat for a living, Foodie. So what you're telling us is you just don't put any effort into any of your videos whatsoever. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
If I bother to go out and vlog and try and get creative with my videos, thousands of views are stolen from reaction channels.
Now, I do find travel vlogs very interesting because I've only been to a couple of places in Europe in my life, and a lot of that was due to being like poor as a child and being fat as an adult. So I haven't had much opportunity to go out and travel. So it's nice to watch travel vlogs and to see parts of the world that I may never experience. So when Foodie's done her outside.
Well, to her point, there is no such thing as stealing views, Chantel. The people did not want to watch you first. If there was something more interesting for them to watch, that's what they wanted to watch, right? You're lucky if they tapped in for a little bit in the first place, period. But you can't guarantee that those people actually went over to the other channels to watch, or if they just got bored with your shit and left your live, because you are quite boring lately. You've been quite boring. So I wouldn't make assumptions that that's what's happening. um but obviously you're making assumptions, and you're just mad because there's a React community that are criticizing your content.
World vlogging, some of it is actually very interesting. Um, I'm not gonna, just because I don't find her likable, doesn't detract from the fact that she lives in a place that does seem quite interesting to me, because the architecture of Q8 seems interesting. The natural terrain of Kuwait seems interesting, so I'm not going to detract from her purely for that. It's the fact that almost every single video is just her stuffing her gob.
Yeah.
It's literally just her going, meep, 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 meep. Well, actually, it's more like this. So.
Yeah, and there's no hygienic. She's not. She's eating with a lot of plasticware lately. There's nothing hygienic about what she's doing. She gets her hands all in the food. She gets her clothes in the food. She's getting food all over her outfit. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross stuff. That's why I don't do the food videos anymore.
It's yeah. She is pretty lazy with their content, let's face it.
And this is no exaggeration. About at least a dozen channels take my entire video for their own content and restream it or stream snipe it the minute I go live.
I do think that is unfair. I mean, if they're sat in silence and literally just restreaming her lives, yes, then I would say that is legitimate content theft. But if it's somebody who is doing commentary while the live is going on, then I would say that is fair use. So
Yeah, I haven't seen a single reactor who did go in and restream while she was live streaming go not take the time to pause the video, have commentary, read comments from their own audience, read the comments from her audience, really look at the whole experience of the live stream, and have some critical commentary about it. I've never seen anybody just stream it like that, restream it.
you're going to have to tell us which of these channels are just content theft, Foodie, because I like I say, pretty much 99% of reaction channels to Foodie do a pretty good job of having fair use. So, you're going to have to tell us who this 1% is.
And they'd steal the video in its entirety or make a video using the entire video and make small comments here and there about petty little things.
Now, who'd make small comments here and there?
It's mostly bullying and body shaming.
I don't think I'd make small comments here and there.
Such as how...
If I were to make small comments here and there, I think you'd all know about it, really, wouldn't you?
I walk, how
And I mean, what constitutes a small comment?
fat I look.
Is it just like interjecting with every few seconds, or is it actually something more substantial?
There's literally a reaction channel whose content is to slow down shots of me walking to laugh at me.
Now, I have done one video of that.
I don't know that she's necessarily thinking of you, James. I think she's referring to Sin and Sass and the 31 frames, because that became a huge like meme thing all over Twitter, and got discussed on a lot of different React channels and stuff like that, where they slowed down her walking to see how long it would take from her abdomen to her face for her to get in frame, and counted it as 31 frames.
Yes, but it's because she reminded me of Hyacinth Bouquet from Keeping Up Appearances. So I think I had a legitimate reason to make that video. Thank you so much.
So things like that, if I'm using filters, etc., etc. I could go live and I will have, let's say, maybe...
She just admitted she uses filters. She kind of went...
She has several times at this point. And she did on TikTok too. She was playing around with the filters over there as well. But she has admitted the filters now on several occasions. And the thing is, girl, you can't be calling people out to cam up when you've got so many filters on your face.
A bit blasé on it, but she admits she uses filters. And if you're happy with your appearance, then you don't really need to use filters. I mean, I don't use filters because I am devastatingly handsome. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Well, she believes that she's prettier than 90% of the internet.
Start saying that. But, I do see filters as being a bit pointless, especially if you're trying to tell people that you're if you're not bothering telling people that you're a certain way, yeah, you can filter all the way. Like, I know some content creators, they're like, oh, I'm 250 pound, and with the filters on, they still look like they're 312. So, yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is, shut up, Foodie.
500 views.
Yeah, and the thing is, when she does do the vlogs, and she's got those filters going, it alters what else we're seeing in the frame. Like, it alters the pattern of the floor, it alters the size of her phone sitting on like a table at a restaurant. It alters the size of the silverware sitting next to the phone. It does some really bizarre things to her videos that she should really stop using the filters. It's not necessary. Just be real, girl.
Someone, bigger reaction channel who usually gets more views will go live. My views will drop down to the 300s.
That's common. Like, if I were to go live on Twitch, right, and I normally get 15 to 20 viewers, and I don't know, if Otstava went live and he normally gets 5,000 viewers, you can pretty much guarantee that my viewership would go down a little bit because a bigger content creator went live. So that is just a normal thing. You can't really escape that, unfortunately. Especially if you're doing similar content. So if Foodie was, just sat there, which that's all she does in her live streams, is just sit there, and then somebody else goes live with like a rip-roaring rendition of Oh Sole Mio, O sole mio. You know, if I were to do that live, I'd probably get more viewers than Foodie. So, you know, it's just the law of the land, unfortunately.
It's not fair use. This is what fair use should be. Read it very well, using small amounts of the content and not taking away from the original creator.
Read what very well? That's not in either of these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I?
And it's not sourced. We don't know where she got this definition. We don't know where she got this graph. This is not sourced. So she's breaking her own rules right here.
Am I? Let's hear that again.
Not taking away from the original creator. Reactors themselves have been reported gleefully bragging about how they purposely take away views and not to watch my content on my channel and to watch it.
You sound like you're reading a script. You don't sound like you're speaking naturally at this point.
On theirs.
I mean, I don't brag about taking away from her because I feel like the content that I produce fills a niche that informs people about the dangers of Foodie Beauty's content. Because I do feel that what she does is dangerous, and a woman with a sphere of influence of over 100,000 people will. There is a chance that there's somebody vulnerable in that 100,000. And
I have a feeling that she doesn't really have 100,000 viewers because she's not getting those kinds of numbers on even on replays of her lives or vlogs or whatever it is that she does. She's not getting the types of numbers that make sense for having a channel that large. And so she needs to do more to get viewership and stop whining about everybody else. But on top of it, I think she probably lost a lot of whoever might still be subscribed but isn't paying attention anymore. Probably she lost them during the Kuwait arc because nobody likes that. Nobody likes to see her in Kuwait in a bowling alley living room. Nobody likes Salah. She probably lost more viewers during the December 28th live stream where she exposed him for cheating and addressed she brought Kai Bella to the forefront. I would have never known, I don't think anybody would have really known whether or not what Kai Bella was putting up online was true or not had she not gone online and crying and talking about how he admitted that it's true that he did this, and it put a really toxic taste in everybody's mouth about their relationship when there already was a toxic taste there to begin with, because their marriage, in air quotes, came about so quickly. There's no way that you can actually get to know somebody and develop a relationship with them in that kind of time frame. And she just ran off to Kuwait and became Muslim. It didn't make sense.
My purpose for this channel is to make sure that there is counter information out there to tell people why Foodie is such a dangerous content creator. Because she tells us about all these ailments that she has. She tells us about her diabetes, which is not very well controlled. She tells us about her kidney issues, her urinary tract infections. She's got no gallbladder. She stated that she has binge eating disorder in one of her videos, which is why it got taken down and put back up with a hotline for an eating disorder charity. So
Non-fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver, right? She's got that too. And she's been complaining about sciatica, but doesn't know how to describe the symptoms. And she's describing health symptoms from other content creators. So here she is whining about people covering her material when she goes into our live streams and our coverage and takes our stories. So just the other day, she said that she's experiencing muscle failure. Not possible, girl. You would have broken a leg, an ankle, a wrist, an arm by now. You do not have my symptoms, girl. Your feet are not curling in, like you said. These are things that she got from my channel because I have complex regional pain syndrome, and that makes your feet curl in. It causes muscle failure, and that's what I've been going through. And now she wants to repeat my health symptoms again.
she is dangerous, and there are people like me out there who want to try and curb that. You know, I get a decent amount of views every day, so I like to think that maybe there is somebody that will take my information to heart and be like, right, what this woman is doing is not good, so I shouldn't do what she does. And there are many of you in my comments that tell me your absolutely amazing stories of how you've overcome your adversities. And honestly, like, it's making me emotional just talking about it now. But like the people that put those stories in my comments, I'm so bloody grateful for you, because we all have our trials and tribulations through life, and if you tell your story, there is a chance that somebody will listen, and if we share them, then we might set somebody on the right path. And
Well, and I really appreciate that you have taken the time to share so much about what it is to be a type 2 diabetic, and to offset what she's doing, because her channel is a self-harm channel. And a lot of us don't really understand why she still is allowed to exist on YouTube.
yeah, I just think that's a wonderful thing. So I'm thankful for all your comments and all your replies. And yeah, I know I get terribly emotional all the time, but that's just me. So I can't really help that.
This is theft. This is wrong, and it's come to a point where it's no longer worth it for me to put any effort into making content.
So why are we to blame?
Boo-hoo. Pick up my sand toys and leave, right? she never grew up, you guys. This is one of the reasons I cover her, is that she says such childish, stupid things that it's just weird. It's react worthy.
Why are we to blame for you not putting in any effort? If anything, this should like spur you on to put effort into your videos, to go out every day and actually get things done and get a new audience that has no idea that these reaction channels exist. Like, instead of having a KFC, which you can get anywhere in the world, why not do a video of you going to a Kuwaiti restaurant and sampling Kuwaiti food? You
Yeah.
know, healthy Kuwaiti food at that. Like, I'm sure there are.
You know, she doesn't like to be around people, though. She doesn't people. She's scared of being around people. She doesn't like being stared at. She doesn't want them to take video or pictures of her while she's out. But you know, girl, that's still on you. If you're uncomfortable with your body, if you're ashamed of your body, you're the only one that can change that.
Tons of wonderful Middle Eastern recipes that are good for you, with like tons of herbs and spices, and wonderful vegetables that are so fresh and tasty. Um, yeah, why don't you do that? Because that would be legitimately interesting, and you could discover that you would have a new audience wanting to like take this gastronomic journey with you, but instead you're just like, no, I'll just have a subware sub stuff. Thanks. Whatever.
Just for reaction channels. People argue that they wouldn't watch me anyway. Well, that's not true because you go to another channel to watch my content.
People go to another channel because they like the reactor and they like the humor or the information or the transformative nature of their content. They like that person because Foodie herself is so unlikable that they don't want to give her their ad revenue. They'd rather take their money somewhere else. They're essentially voting with their wallet. Even though obviously, you know, it's just exposing yourself to advertisements.
Yeah, I think it's just another sign of how conceited she is, that she thinks that she is the only person that has any sort of personality here. Obviously, if people are following us and watching our material, then they're coming to hear our voices or see our face in some cases. Um, but they like our commentary. And so I don't know, again, I don't know what you're whining about. You are a grown ass woman. Deal with it. Produce better content. Do a better job. This is the only job you have, and you're basically unemployable to do anything else. So really, you better figure it out, girl. Um, because the React channels aren't going away. We're still going to be here, and we're going to be looking at you know, whatever is interesting content that we can fluff up.
So yeah, that's not really an argument either. I think if all the reaction channels were gone and it was just Foodie slurping down some shrimp, I think she'd still have the same amount of views. Actually, no, I think she'd have less views because us reactors have to go over to her channel to watch the content first to see what's going on.
Right.
So I think actually she would be at a net loss without the reaction channels. So that's some food for thought, Foodie. Unfortunately, you can't eat food for thought, so probably not going to be worth anything to you. But hey,
And she's also jealous of other content creators that are out there with EDs, you know. She really hates that Hungry Fat Chick gets a lot more views than she does. She's always been in competition with Amberlyn Reed. I think she's even kind of terrified of Eugenia Cooney now that she's trying to tip her toe into the TikTok market. Um, but I did watch that you've gotten into the battles, Chantel. It might take you some time to build that up and to get used to it. Like, I know that some people have already, reacted to it and said that it was you lost both of your battles, so blah blah blah. But I don't know that these people were really covering like people who battled before. And I know that it takes a lot of time to build an audience on TikTok, to get the people who are willing to gift you in those battles, and to get a feel for it. Um, so, I wouldn't give it up. Keep trying, girl.
Throwing petty remarks and insults every few minutes is not transformative in any way.
Darling, I'm not petty. When I say something, I mean it.
You are certainly not making my content any different. There's no transformation happening to my work. Furthermore,
I mean, that's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
Right.
Maybe that's why you don't want to make copyright claims, is because you can't work out the border between stealing and transformation. I well fall under the transformation side, because I'm basically giving my thoughts and feelings about everything, because, I'm wonderful like that. Yeah. I think Foodie's just...
I'm in the same place with you, James. I mean, like, every time I cover a video, I have a lot to say. And I generally will watch it first, or at least watch most of it first, before I jump in with my thoughts. Simply because I'd like to be prepared for what I'm going to react to. There have been a couple of times where I'm like, let's just do it, right? And let's just go for it. But usually I come prepared with some thoughts about how I want to respond to certain things that she's doing. If she's talking about like petty comments, I don't think, telling you to use clean utensils, use smaller plates, you have smaller portion sizes, um, take the filters off, be more natural. I don't think these are petty comments. But I also think that you have become ashamed of your body since you went to Kuwait, because in the previous arc with Nader, you seemed to, and with Pete, you seemed to be much more comfortable with your body, um, and even maybe exhibitionist with your body. And now you just want to cover everything. You want to cover everything. And you're kind of busting out of your clothes at this point, because you've gained so much weight since you went to Kuwait. And that's your own doing, because you're not moving around.
Big angry that she got her video taken down and demonetized because she was talking about eating disorders. And unfortunately, if you're trying to justify why you eat massive amounts of food while having an eating disorder, you're a bit of a dunce. Let's face it.
how is it okay for a react?
Yeah, she brought that up on TikTok as well. And Chantel, I know you watch all of our reactions. You're going to need to be very careful with that on TikTok as well, because that is how Eugenia Cooney became age restricted, and it made it difficult for her to participate in the battles.
To have an entire channel based on one individual only. And I'm sure reactors will say, I'm crying over people taking my content. Yeah, I am. Just like the YouTube underground went on a rampage hypocritically when people used a tiny amount of her content and abused the copyright system over and over and over. Now, I can't copyright strike because I simply cannot afford to take every one of these reactors to court and pursue any of this, nor do I wish to spend my time.
Okay, if you don't wish to, then why are you crying about it?
I'm fighting something that big, but no matter how you spin it.
What do you think you're going to accomplish by putting this video out? Because we're going to react to it. We're all going to have something to say about it and how you're wrong. You're misinterpreting the definition for fair use. And who are you trying to convince here? Because you're not going to convince us, and you're not going to convince our followers. So what is it? Just intended for your beezers? Which is a dwindling group of people at this point?
If you were that concerned about your bottom line, about the money that we're taking from you, then I'm sure you'd actually go for every reaction channel, wouldn't you? You'd go through the big ones, you'd go through the small ones, and actually do something about it. So are you really that concerned, or you just can't be asked? I think you just can't be asked.
It's not fair use to use a creator's entire work when it takes views away from the original creator, period. And yes, I can prove that, and I just have talked about that, what happens when somebody goes live the minute I go live.
Or if they go live the minute you go live with something different and more interesting, which is what usually happens.
Mm-hmm.
Of course people are going to go elsewhere, because they want to see something fresh and interesting. Because we've seen Foodie eat massive amounts of food for 7 years now?
Mm-hmm.
With the occasional sprinkling of drama and the occasional sprinkling of a health issue. So, we've been there, done that, and we react to it. And people go to the reactors because they don't want to give her any money. Simple as that, really. And she could easily make her videos members only, but then, only 10 people would watch.
Yeah, she's not going to do that because it would affect the, there's a statistic of how many views you get and how you're earning, and YouTube pays out based on how successful your channel is. So that would not be a great idea. Not saying that she shouldn't do any members only content, because she should reward her the people who are actually paying for membership with something. She should give them something. I mean, why not giveaways or something? I guess she's not very good at honoring giveaways. So this is part of the problem, is that she's lost trust with her audience. Because she's gotten people to pay for things and then not delivered on what she said she was going to do. So she's coming off as a grifter, in addition to being self-harm.
And therefore, honestly, I don't feel motivated at all to share my life, nor to put in any effort into any content I do.
She's very good at deflecting the blame, isn't she? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, it's not my fault I don't want to make anything decent for you guys. It's everybody else's fault. No. It's not because I'm a lazy bitch. It's because everybody else is a bitch. How dare you?
Right.
That's just how it is. I will just sit and eat and do mukbangs and do gaming streams on YouTube and try to do some streams on TikTok here and there, mostly battles and content where I can play some music. If these channels were not using 100% of my content, a lot of people would watch on my channel.
No, they wouldn't. I think you're in a bit of a dream world there, young lady. You would not magically get thousands upon thousands of more views if all the reaction channels disappeared. Like I say, I think you'd get less. I legitimately think you would get less views. Like, this video is currently sat at 4,583 as of recording. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, we've got a video from Garlic Bread here in my recommended that's on 6.5K views. And it's been out for less time. So I legitimately think her viewership would go down if all the reaction channels disappeared. That's the hill I am on.
They would be
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because she's getting free publicity through reaction channels. And there's a lot of people who would not have known who she is whatsoever if we were not doing this.
curious, at least, and not all, but many more would be forced to, because no matter what you admit to it or not, whether you admit to it or not, sorry, those who watch on reaction channels are still interested to some degree to watch my content, which
They're not interested in the content that you produce. They're interested in the... It's like watching... It's like a train wreck, essentially. And it's one of those things that you just can't help but look at. But, you know, it's good to have some levity alongside it. It's good to have some information alongside it. So yeah, I just don't think that people would go to her, because let's face it, she's quite boring.
Mm-hmm.
She's quite
Well, and on top of it, there have been other shows like this out for since like the aughts at least. I mean, Tosh 2.0 was covering internet material in the late aughts, I think, or mid to late aughts. I don't know if he's still around or whatnot. Hassan pulls stuff up all the time. I never hear anybody complain about Hassan doing this. She doesn't seem to complain about Oh Lordy, It's Jordy either. And he's covered her material. But he tends to, I think, to stick more to like Eugenia Cooney. However, I haven't looked at his channel lately, so I'm not positive about that.
quite annoying and condescending is another one of those adjectives I'd place on her. It's like, let me take you to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Actually gonna help you to learn things, because I don't think you actually know what you're doing, right? All these reaction channels with their informative information and their humor and watching me walk slowly, I think it's detracting from my viewership, okay?
And, you know, watching you walk slowly serves a purpose too, because we're trying to understand what exactly is the damage that you're doing to yourself right now. And, you know, how far are you arching your back to accommodate all of that weight on your front? Why do you seem to be developing a hump? And this is very curious to a lot of us. And I would think that you yourself would be very concerned about what's happening to your body. So why not do something better for yourself and stop eating all this crap?
So, you know.
which is why those channels exist at all in the first place. It's sad that it has come to this, but reaction channels have gone too far with their lazy stealing content. And I am no longer going to do any vlogs or content outside of the mukbangs and gaming streams. I will.
Yeah, so her core audience that's left's like, oh, well, all right then. I guess I'll go flip myself, I guess. Like
Yeah, seriously, she's punishing her audience. She's punishing the people who actually do like her and do follow her. And, you know, you're only going to hurt your channel and yourself by doing this.
the 10 people that are left are like, oh, right. Well, here's some memberships. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to you guys on the gaming streams, but not the talking I do on my regular streams. If you were working for free, I'm sure you wouldn't feel like it much either. I put myself out there. I put in the editing effort.
You're not working for free. You're still getting AdSense. You're still getting a paycheck. Otherwise, you would have left a long time ago to try and figure something else out. But you were still making money doing this. So again, what are you whining about?
And for someone to just not even cam up and show themselves and just take my entire content and then use it to bully me, no thanks. And make more money, no thanks. It's ridiculous that you...
Hello. I'm on camera.
Uh-huh.
I'm a model and I'm looking good. Bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, so, about that camming up thing, I think she needs to watch some content creators that actually do cam up, because there are quite a few of us. You know, I'm here. Hi.
She does. She watches all of us. She knows that the majority of React channels actually do cam up. So again, she's whining about nothing. Take off the filters, Chantel.
You know, it's not an uncommon thing for us lot to be cammed up. So, you know, whenever she says cam up, I'm just like, beard, eyes. That's all I need to do a reaction video, beard and eyes. That's it. Well, actually mouth, because I need to talk.
YouTube allows this to occur, but to be honest, I know I talk a big game about reporting them to YouTube, but lately I just haven't had the mental health to sit and go through their channels and send timestamps and watch their content for hours and hours of abuse. I actually have done this once or twice in the past, but not lately. I feel like YouTube 100% doesn't give a shit. So why?
I think, yeah, she is big mad that that video got taken down about schooling the haters. It's back up now with an eating disorder hotline, like I say. But I think she's legitimately angry because she got taken down and the reaction channels didn't. That's because the reaction channels actually have important information to say rather than having receipts, which are basically just your menu. It was literally the KFC menu that you showed us. I've got receipts, look. No, they weren't receipts. They were just items. So, you know, she can't even school us properly. Why am I even paying for this schooling? It's a rip-off.
Why should I? I would love to make nice vlogs for you guys. I would love to, but not.
I would love to make nice vlogs for you guys, but I can't be bothered because I'm lazy. And if I could do a 12-hour video of me laying like a seal, I would.
Not if I put in the effort to do the content, and some lazy reaction channels who don't even bother to get on camera just replay my entire content. So
You use a lot of B-roll and do voiceover later. You have almost nothing valuable to say in your vlogs. You do like the bare minimum to plan what you want to capture and don't even think about, you know, putting together like some background or, you know, historical facts about the locations that you're going to, or have some interesting conversation on your vlogs. So if you're getting criticized, it's because you come across as a teenager who doesn't want to work.
sorry, but fuck no. Fuck no. No more.
She's swearing. I don't think that's appropriate for a dainty lady like herself. And anyway, there is a camera. Here is my face. Strike a pose. Anyway,
I've fed these losers and their kids for way too long, and I am done.
I don't have any kids.
Anyways, guys, that is what you can expect from now on. See you.
Shamelessly making my video 8 minutes for more ads. So she's got it to about 6 minutes and 44 seconds here. And the other 2 minutes are just to make ads.
Yeah.
So
I'm fairly certain that is a break of the terms of service, but I wouldn't know.
yeah, basically, Foodie is really angry because everybody makes better content than her, and it's her own content. Which, it's pretty startling, isn't it? Maybe that says something about the quality of her content, that someone like me can just go, flippily schmimble, and exponentially improve her content by many thousands of %. So, yeah, I think you need to get some work done, Foodie. You need to do some editing. You need to go outside. You need to do something about it. You silly cow. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much, James, for covering the topic, for putting the content up, for understanding that other reactors might react to you. And I will make sure to share the link to this video. I ask that my viewers go and like James's channel and give him, like the video, give him some comments, and help bump it up. Thank you for your time on my commentary.